Hey everyone, I'm Danny and welcome to Wizardry Workshop. Today we're going to be making a Honeyduke's product. This product is called Bat's Blood Soup. And it's not actual bat's blood, but this is actually in Honeyduke's and it's kind of like in a vat or a cauldron, and it's just this bubbling red marshmallow fondue where people who buy candy can dip their candy in that. So I thought it would be cool to do like a take-home version of their marshmallow fondue bat's blood soup. So of course, first we need to print the templates out. And there are two here. However, I believe when I actually give you guys this download, I'm gonna combine these so that you don't have to waste an entire sheet of paper just for this little Honeyduke circle. So first of all, we have this one, and this is the label that I designed for Bat's Blood Soup. This was 100% from scratch. I designed it hoping to kind of catch the sort of Honeyduke's feel, but also kind of like a circusy feel. I thought that went pretty well, so let me know what you guys think of this design. I had a lot of fun creating it. And then the other part is this little Honeyduke's circle. You could print this on sticker paper, but I think, some of you who want to make this don't actually have sticker paper on hand. So if you are doing it on regular paper, that's what I'm doing in this video today. Both of these are printed on regular paper. So we want to cut these out, first of all. You can use a paper cutter or whatever you want to use. You could even use scissors if you want, however, I don't recommend it. And I'm going to be using a ruler and X-Acto knife because it gets nice clean cuts and it's really quick. So once you have the label cut out, it should look like this. Just make sure you get all the white off the edges. And now we're going to move into doing this Honeyduke circle. For this, I'm just going to use scissors. You could use a swivel cut blade if you want, but I'm just going to carefully cut this and try to get it as perfect as I can. I could have used my Cricut to cut this out too, but I feel like that's just overkill for one circle. So I didn't get this 100% perfect, but it's good enough. Especially from a distance, you're not going to notice any of those imperfections in the circle. So now we have that part cut out. The paper part is done. We're going to make a Honeyduke's product using these labels, and I'm going to use a tall mason jar. And you could use a regular size mason jar, but it just looks a little better and a little bit different in the taller one because you don't see these as often as you do the short ones. What we want to do is take the lid off, set that aside, and we also need some red fabric. First, we're going to cut a square out of this fabric. You don't really have to do it this big. I'm doing about 10 inch by 10 inch, but you could do it smaller than that if you want to preserve some of your fabric. Okay, yeah, it's like 8.5 by 10, but whatever. Like I said, doesn't have to be a perfect square. We're going to take this piece of the mason jar lid and put it on. We're going to take the cloth and put it on top like that. We're going to pull it tight, and then we're going to take this part of the lid and screw it on over the fabric. So there we go. This is what we should have right now. So now we're going to trim the excess fabric from below here. Go ahead and just eyeball it and cut an inch or maybe a little bit less than an inch from around here, just like this. And try to get it as smooth as you can, like as good of a circle as you can, basically. This is basically what you're looking for here, just a little kind of skirt, I would say, around the jar like that. So that's what we want there. Next, we're going to put this label on, and this label is just going to go right around the bottle, and the size is perfect to fit right around a mason jar, just like this. I am going to use double-sided tape for this. This is permanent double-sided tape, just because it's quick and easy and you don't have to wait for it to dry. So I've just put a piece here, a piece here, a piece at this end, and I'm going to put one more piece right here at this end. Now on the ends here, we're going to make sure that the entire end is covered as close to the edges as possible. So now it's time to put the label on the jar. And when you do this, you're going to want to try and make sure that it's as straight as possible. But since we're using tape, we can always adjust this if it's not quite right. So I'm just going to wrap it around and see. We have our label on there pretty straight. Now we are going to put some stuff in here. So this is going to be like a gift you can give someone, and it's edible. So before we do anything else, actually we probably should have done this before we we put the lid on, but that's okay. So I have these just little marshmallows, and I'm just going to fill it up to the top with marshmallows. And if anyone was going to eat this other than me, I would be wearing gloves right now. All right, so there we go. We've got our jar filled with marshmallows. Now we can place the lid, whoops. Now we can place the lid right back on there. Again, cover it up. Like I said, probably would have been better to put the marshmallows in first, but I kind of missed that step. Get the lid on tight. And there we go. So now we should be right here. A marshmallow-filled jar with a custom label and this cloth right around the mason jar lid. So next we can put the Honeyduke's label right on top. I'm just going to put the tape on here in an X shape, like that. And then here's the front of the Bat's Blood Soup label, so I'm just going to line it up so that it's facing the same way. Oop, that's not quite in the center, and this is why we use tape and not glue. There we go. So now we have the Honeyduke's label here and the Bat's Blood Soup label right here. And then back here we have the ingredients and instructions. The instructions aren't actually 100% accurate, neither are the ingredients, because it doesn't really have bat's blood. And there's one thing else you need to actually cook it, which is condensed milk, condensed sweetened milk. You mix them together and you can make fondue out of them. I couldn't find a good way to include the condensed milk, so it's just marshmallows for now. So we are going to make this look a little bit more fancy with some things, like we have some yarn here we're going to wrap around here. And then I also have this purple tassel, which I'm going to hang from the yarn right on the side. And we also have these cool little potion bottles. So we just want a little potion bottle, something just about this size. And then we also need a way to hang this thing onto the jar itself, because we're going to be hanging that. So what I have are these little kind of clamp pieces right here that can clamp on, keychain type things, but they have chains connected to them. So I'm going to remove the chain with some pliers. I'm just going to bend this piece right here enough to take the chain off of it. And then I'm going to bend it right back. And then we want to be able to hook the little potion jar onto this little keychain. So we need something to wrap around here. And these potion jars, the tiny ones, the potion bottles, were made to be hung on necklaces. So if we just take a piece of string, and I have this blue string, we're just going to make a loop on one end like this, and then we're going to tie a knot in it. So bring it around and then put the loop through, and then pull it tight, but make sure that it's not like a big loop. You just want like a small loop right there. So there we go. We've got our loop. Next, we're going to take the jar, and then we're going to wrap the string around the top of the jar with the loop on one side. And then we're just going to wrap it around once, and then we're going to tie it off right there. There we go. And then we can just cut the string off. So now we can put the vial onto this little keychain piece, just like that, with the loop that we just made. And the point of this is so that the vial can hang onto the side of the jar, like this. So the next thing we need is some red food coloring, and we're going to put red food coloring into this vial, and we're going to fill it up about halfway, and that is going to be our pretend bat's blood. And now you should have a little vial of blood, and it should look like this. And as another thing that I thought would be really cool to add to this, and it makes it look kind of a little bit more occult-like, I found these cool little like hand charms with eyes in the center of the hand, in the palms of the hand. I'm also going to put this onto that same keychain along with the vial of blood. So now we have the charm and the blood hung from the keychain piece. We also have our tassel that we're going to hang on here. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this blue yarn and we're going to put the tassel on. And then we're also going to thread through this little top loop where the chain was connected to this keychain. We're actually going to thread the yarn straight through that as well. And you don't have to use yarn. You could use some type of string or rope, like thin rope or something, but I just couldn't find anything in the right color, and I really wanted this to be like a kind of a bright blue. And then now when you wrap this around here, make sure that it is kind of off to the side of the front of the label, and just keep wrapping it around. And we're going to keep one side with this excess kind of available for us because we're going to have to tie it off. And then we're going to take some more of this yarn and wrap it around. And then we can cut this off. And now it's just a matter of tying this on here. Put a couple of different knots in there. And the part that we're tying needs to be somewhere near the back so you can't see it as well. There we go. Cut that off. And then we should have something like this. So it has the blue around the rim here, Honeydukes, the red cloth, the label, the blood vial, and the purple tassel. And that is it, guys. That is how you make this bat's blood soup. So basically what you're going to do is you'll take the marshmallows and you will mix them with the condensed sweetened milk. For the amount of marshmallows that are here, you might try doing like a fourth of this can, and then maybe if that's still a bit too thick, put another fourth in. But then you will drip some of the red food coloring or bat's blood into it to give it kind of a pink look, and that's how you do it. And then you can just dip like pretzels in it or anything really, because it's marshmallow fondue, so it's really good. Anyways, that is it. I thought this was a really cool project to do right around Halloween because bat's blood soup just sounds like something you would have at Halloween time. Let me know what you guys think of this in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh my gosh. I just cut into the template.
Remember, I get a lot of ideas for these DIYs that I do from your comments. So if you have an idea for something that you want to see me do in the future, definitely leave a comment below and let me know. If you're interested in seeing more DIY videos having to do with Harry Potter and more, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.